All right, question 18. Which code fragment would yield an operator that represents a single qubit Qiskit? So again, looking on the right side, we'll see a lot of the answers are incorrect because of the bad syntax. We'll go over that. Operator is actually coding background experience. This is useful to know. Not needed, right? Very useful though. But we'll go over which code fragment would yield an operator that represents a single qubit Qiskit. This last bit is important to us. So, we're going to try not to get tripped up with that. But here we go. So, beforehand, how do we find an answer to a question we're looking for? We Google the main, the keyword we're looking for, and followed by Qiskit API or some variation of that. Here I put Qiskit, what I was looking for, API. But, the original one, Qiskit operator API, because the question's asking about an operator that represents a single qubit Qiskit, and all of these have operator in them, right? Let me see. Operator, so that's the keyword we're looking for. See how that works, right? We want to see how operators work in Qiskit. So we're going to Google Qiskit operator API. Again, APIs are kind of, they're documents that tell you what you can do with something. So here, what you can do with Qiskit, these are all the things we can do with it. So operator, again, where having a coding background is useful. An operator is a class. So we're creating an instance of the class operator. So the input parameters of operator are data, input dimensions, and output dimensions. And here we have a list of methods or some actions, like verbs, some actions we can take with this class. So here's important things if you want to search. So we'll go through the answers right here. So option A, operator equals operator dot x op on the 0th assuming qubit. Dot .xop is something we can kind of search in the page. It's a method. So here we can search. Xop, and we do not see anything. So option A, dot .xop is an incorrect method. This doesn't exist. Option B, operator 0, 1. So we are given numbers as an input, but it's not preceded by input dimensions or output dimensions. So knowing how, I don't know how, if I should assume this, but assuming we know how parameters work, it's not, a valid input for this operator. So we have data, input dimensions, and output dimensions. So that's, not a correct syntax for inputting things we might look for. So syntax, this one's incorrect because of syntax. This B is incorrect because of syntax rather. A is incorrect because that method doesn't exist. C we'll skip over because it's actually correct. And then D is wrong for a similar reason of B because it's not a syntax we're looking for. And then here I was like, D is wrong because cool, state vector, not an X, right? So it reminds us of the state vector syntax we've seen before, but it's not what we're looking for. So again, like we've seen in the past, a lot of these questions, they have multiple layers of red flags. So hopefully if you miss one, you don't miss them all. You can catch a later layer. But also we see there, just because something is done differently or they go the long way around doesn't mean that it's wrong. So you could call this going the long way around. I don't think necessarily it is. There probably is a faster way to do this, but it's what they do in C is they create a quantum circuit with one qubit. They put an Qiskit on the 0th qubit. So these last words coming back to us at the end, single, because we're looking for an operator that represents a single Qiskit. So that's the Qiskit we're looking for. And then we're creating an instance of class operator here. The syntax and terminology for software engineering is very particular. But you don't need to know the whole instance of, instantiation of a class and how that works to understand that this is the answer, right? So op equals operator QC. And we're creating an instance of class operator with the QC circuit. That's the data we're using, right? The QC circuit is the data we're using. And again, we see here, operator actually has a valid parameter for data. So that is why the answer is correct. the QC, the circuit named QC is the data that we're putting, the data parameter we're putting in. Technically not called parameters, if you're talking, but that's what we're looking for. I'm probably going to get lambasted in the comments for saying, technically they're called parameters when you're in there looking in the class, but if you run them, I forget what they're called. But yes, so C is correct for that reason. So A is incorrect because of the bad syntax. Oh, yeah, so the XOP method also doesn't exist, right? We tried looking for it, but it just wasn't there. What happened there? What happened to the input? Hello? Spooky, nice. So the XOP method doesn't exist. B and D are wrong for similar reasons. That is not a valid input. The screen is dying on me. I'm not sure why, so I'll wrap this question up. But yeah, C is correct. How do I fix this? So C is because we're running operator with QC. And before this goes any further, C is the correct option, and those are why the other ones are wrong.